Hey everyone, welcome back to the Solo to Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Lorraine Chai, the business advisor, strategist, and your partner in building a business that scales with clarity and intention. Today, I want to talk about something that doesn't feel dangerous, but quietly is your comfort zone. And before you mentally check out thinking, I already know this, stay with me because this isn't about reckless risks. This isn't about quitting everything or blowing up what works. It's about something more subtle and far more dangerous. A few months ago, I was speaking in a room full of professionals, business owners, creatives, educators, even musicians. Different industries, different personalities, but one thing stood out. The people who were struggling the most. They weren't unmotivated. They weren't unskilled. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were comfortable. And comfort in business is rarely neutral. It's often the first sign that growth has stalled. Here's the part we don't say out loud. The comfort zone doesn't just keep you safe. It keeps you stagnant. It keeps you just busy enough to feel productive, but not focused enough to move forward. And some people keeps you behind from growing. It doesn't make you lazy. It just ensures you don't work any harder than you already are. And it guarantees you don't get better at what matters most. I hear it over and over again, even with clients that are trying to start a business or clients that have lost their jobs and trying to start something that or a future for themselves. Is identifying that being comfortable in your world, comfortable where you are, comfortable in your life, that you end up not doing the work that you have to do and should do for your business growth. So let's call it what it is. In business, in life, the comfort zone looks responsible. It's sticking with the same offers, routine, running the same marketing, serving the same clients, doing the same thing, making the same mistakes, making decisions that feel safe, avoiding anything that makes or might risk cash flow, reputation, or routine. It's not taking that chance. It's the mindset of this works well enough and that's okay. And I get it, especially if you've worked hard to get here. But here's the truth. What feels comfortable today is often what quietly caps your growth tomorrow. I've worked with clients who were technically successful. Revenue steady, clients consistent, but growth flatline. No innovation, no evolution, just maintenance. But maintenance isn't momentum. Businesses don't stall because of bad decisions. They stall because there are no new decisions. And some people think of this way. I'm going to scale my business by raising my prices. That is not the right way of raising prices. That's not the right way of doing business. It doesn't mean you're going to work less by raising your prices while not upscaling your skills because you couldn't be bothered or you think that you can do less. Let's look at it another way, right? When you stop stretching, someone else doesn't. And I always say, when you are in the process of growth, you always have to work on your weakest skill. It's not just doing the work as it is and being comfortable doing the work as it is. While you're staying the same, think of it that way. Your competitors are experimenting, refining, repositioning, growing, stealing all the clients that you may possibly have. And what used to make you stand out suddenly becomes baseline. Now that's how market leaders slowly fade into irrelevance. Comfort breeds rigidly, right? You stop noticing. Shifts in buyer behavior, new demand, subtle cracks in service industry. Then when disruption hits, you crumble. You react instead of lead. You fall behind because you haven't upskilled all your weakest skills. Some of the biggest business breakthroughs I've seen came from moves that felt uncomfortable at first. Entering new markets, raising prices, rebranding, saying no to the wrong clients. Comfort whispers, don't rock the boat. And what if the boat isn't already drifting? Now, just as my situation, migrated twice. In my 40s, migrated twice. People have asked me, why did you throw everything away, Lorraine? Like, why have you thrown the reputation and positioning that you have placed in Australia to move in your 40s into a different country, into a foreign place where you know nobody? Sure, I was comfortable, but I wanted more, and I could see there was more. I just had to put the work, and that's where I brought myself towards too. And that's the same for Jack Cohen. Jack Cohen, who was originally a Canadian, packed his bags as someone in his young 20s, packed his bag and his young family with his wife and young child, and moved the opposite direction to where I came from, into Australia, to build an empire, to becoming a billionaire, to becoming the expert in franchising, to be bringing a whole new future into Australia, just by taking those chances, just by taking that chance and gambling the future for himself, because he saw it and he persisted towards that. This is the sneakiest one, right? Comfort creates a false sense of security. You stop tracking margins, you stop tracking cash flow timing, capacity, customer sentiments, you stop noticing the change in business, in people in the industry, in your industry. Problems don't always show up in the big ways. They start with silence. They start with good enough. And then one day you realize you've been slipping slowly for a long time. If comfort is the risk, awareness is the antidote. Here's where I always tell every business owner to start looking. Your customers are already telling you where the market is heading. Are you listening? What are they asking for before you offer it? What objections keep showing up? What's starting to feel harder than it used to? Now, revenue is not clarity as well. You need visibility into profit margins, cash flow timing, burn rate, capacity versus demand, transactional versus transformational tasks. Comfort hides in vague numbers. Clarity lives in the specifics. Not to copy, but to anticipate. Who's gaining traction? Who's their positioning? What's working? And more importantly, why? Why is it not working? Why is it working? This is about being proactive, not reactive. It's taking all feedbacks that you can decipher into making it work for you in your business. Innovation doesn't always require massive risks. Test before you scale. Pilot before you commit. Experiment without blowing up. What already works? Progress lives in controlled discomfort. Take all feedback. Fine-tune every steps, every process, everything that you do in your business. Continue analyzing, continue evaluating, continue fine-tuning towards the growth. Your business will never grow past your own capacity to lead. So ask yourself this. What decisions are you still avoiding? What conversations are you still postponing? Where are you choosing comforts over clarity? Not reckless, but being intentional is the way to go. Clear upside, define downside, exit plans in place. This is how confident leaders move forward. With risks they can see, measure, and manage. Now, this may be a story that you've heard. My dad, before I moved to the US, my dad pulled me aside and questioned, why are you throwing your future away? Why are you throwing your reputation and your business away? Why are you doing this? Do you know that the US is dangerous? Do you know that this? Do you know that? I sat him down and said, Dad, look, out of all the kids that you have, knowing that it's just four of us, all the kids that you have, you're only child that has brought her business up from the ground, that has started her business from the ground up, that has no debt, that has been self-published, has brought her brand into an international brand, has book distributors working for her internationally in different areas of the globe. Wouldn't you think I would have seen all corners and aspect of of this move, wouldn't you think that I would have seen or known or actually look into planning towards this and making the decision that needs to be done for myself? We need to be open towards what we learn. And I'm not boasting here. It's more of being open for feedback. Being open to grow is knowing that there's so much out there, that things change. You got to move with the change. Move with technology. Move with everything, because you never know. You never know what you never know until you try it. Now let's talk action. Here's what it actually looks like to break free. Not just more of the same thing, but goals that require new systems, new thinking, new levels of leadership. If the goal feels easy, it's not a growth goal. Stretch your goals is what I always say. Stretch your goals every quarter, stretch your goals every year. Run what if sessions, right? Ask the hard questions for yourself. What if our top offer stops working? What if our biggest client left? What if we doubled demand? But also think, what if everything works out? Worst case scenario, best case scenario, most likely. What's the worst that can happen? If you don't try, you don't know. This isn't fear-based, right? It's what strategic foresight looks like. You got to build trusted circles. Comfort thrives in isolation. Growth accelerates with accountability, perspective, honest feedback. No strong business is built in a vacuum. Find partners. Team tag with somebody that would help you through your business growth. Also have to remember to delegate to elevate. And delegate could be delegating towards a human being, or delegating towards AI, or delegating into technology. If you're stuck in the weeds, you can't see the horizon. Your job isn't to do everything. It's to think clearly about what's next. Delegation isn't a cost. It's a leadership skill. You got to reframe failure. Every successful business owner I know has failed often. The difference, they adjusted quickly. They didn't retreat. They didn't close shop. They didn't let fear become a permanent stop sign. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Stagnation is. Your comfort zone isn't protecting your business. It's quietly limiting it. Growth doesn't require chaos. It requires courage and intention. And here's a challenge this week. Pick one area where you've grown a little too comfortable. One decision you've been postponing. One next move you've been overthinking. And do something to disrupt it, because the comfort might feel good now, but it guarantees you'll fall behind later. And that's not where we're building here. A story my coach told me once was his coach himself was telling him once he earned his first million was to put the million away and put yourself back in being uncomfortable. Why? Because if you're in desperation to build a business where you have nothing else to lose, nothing else at hand, wouldn't you do whatever it takes? If a life is on the line, wouldn't you do whatever it takes? Look at your business that way. Look at it where doing it whatever it takes towards a success. Success is all you have to have. And that failure is not an option. Or closing shop is not an option. Place yourself being uncomfortable so that you thrive. Identify when you start feeling comfortable, it's time to stretch those goals to being uncomfortable. And that's what separates the successful people against those that are closed in their business, or those have closed shop. This podcast is for business owners ready to move forward with clarity, with structure, and with support. If that's you, stay with me. Stick with me for more. My name is Lorraine Chai. Thanks for tuning in to the Solo to Entrepreneur Show. If you like this episode, please do like it, share it, listen to it on repeat, and stick with me. Until next time, I'll see you on the next episode.